Please enjoy this special presentation of excerpts from episode number 2 of the podcast, Conversations About Grief.
Welcome to another episode of Conversations About Grief. I'm Steve Davis, and this is Reverend Ed Arneson, retired, past hospice chaplain and CEO. And we're going to talk about a very personal grief experience to me. It was the passing of my father back in 2005 and some of the things that I went through since then. And to give you an idea of what we went through, my father had worked very hard. He had a business where I grew up at the town where I grew up in. He had a little retail store that did excellent for quite a few years. Started out as a White's Auto, became a Western Auto store when those companies combined. And we had that business up until the day around the time he turned 70. Due to some circumstances beyond our control, we had to shut the business down. And Dad went from being someone that worked 6.5 days a week to, hey, I'm just going to watch TV. I'll do some stuff around the house, but I'm going to watch TV. And that was, who are we to tell him otherwise?
Right.
He'd worked hard all his life.
Right.
He had worked for other companies before he had his own. So around the age of 78, he got sick with type 2 diabetes. 79, he had a triple bypass. It was supposed to be a quadruple, but they could only do a triple bypass. He did not complete his cardio rehab. He hated that. I think he might have gotten a couple more years of life if he had have done that. But he started going downhill, and he started suffering from dementia. There were several times where he'd be talking to my mother, and he would talk about things. Dad was originally from New Jersey. And there was one time where he was talking with my mother, and my mother said, wait, who am I? And he said, Dora Gordon. That was his mother.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you? I'm David Gordon. That was his father. He had slipped back into an episode in his memory that from his growing up. These were getting pretty frequent. We did not have him tested for Alzheimer's because, like the medical doctor said, we've got all these other problems. Is an Alzheimer's diagnosis going to make a difference? He does have dementia. We know that. Let's just focus on quality of life.
In this excerpt, Steve speaks about what happened the day his dad died.
Way things happened, it sounds really just different. Dad and I talked a lot. I worked with him in the store all the time. I graduated high school a year early so I could learn the business and take it over one day. We worked all the time. I spent more time with my dad than probably anybody else. And my dad would talk about different people when businessmen passed away, and he'd say, look at that. They're closing down the business for the entire day. You don't ever do that when I pass. They said, close for half day on the funeral, and then you reopen. Don't lose a whole day's business over my funeral. This is not a national holiday. You get to work. Okay. Well, that Sunday, I had a commercial carpet cleaning scheduled. I was in the building maintenance industry at the time. And my youngest brother called me in the morning. It was about 6 o'clock in the morning. He called me and he said, hey, Dad passed earlier. And, I said, okay, thank you. I started getting ready to go do the carpet. I did not think about going to hospice. I was going by what he said, Don't sit there crying all the time about it. Get up and work.
Right.
So I was getting ready, and I get a call about an hour and a half later. My brother says, where are you at? I said, I'm getting ready to go to a commercial carpet. Why? He said, you need to be here with us. Cancel your carpet and do that, which I did call the business owner and of course they were, however much time you need, don't worry about it. This is unimportant to us. You take care of family things.
In this excerpt, Ed asks Steve an interesting question.
Did you dream about it?
I had one dream about him. It's real interesting. He was standing there. He was in the store. He was looking at me. He was smiling. I remember telling him, hey, I tried to do what you said. I was going to go do that carpet. I wasn't going to take the full day off. And he just smiled at me and nodded his head.
Yeah.
That was the one dream.
All right. Then going forward, the thing at Christmas is just so typical. people are kind of surprised. I've seen people do all kinds of things. Whatever they've done in years gone by, they change the process.
Right.
Sometimes people are able to, I knew one family that Papa always sat at the head of the table. He was the Papa. Everybody, in Christmas was a big deal because they were responding to him. And so they put his chair there, put his picture in it, and all had a great big family cry, and then went on remembering the things that were funny and happy and good that they had done. One family in West Texas always had these great big family Christmases where everybody brought food and they all went out to eat. And so people, and those holiday things and special days, holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, those things stay with us for a long time.
Yes. Yes.
And I have the sense that grieving, feeling the loss, understanding the loss, and your comment there that the dream was, I wanted Papa to know I tried to do what he told me to do, is incredibly insightful into how we respond when someone is gone.
Say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. Say what you need to say.
Thank you for listening today. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions about grief, please email us at conversationsaboutgrief@gmail.com.